So I wonder if you could tell me a little bit about your theater company and how Hurricane Maria changed the plans that you had.
So we're a sketch comedy theater company. We've been together for about 12 years. We have a space down here in Santurce, and we do sketch comedy kind of regularly, and we write our own material, and some of us do stand-up, so it's a comedy group, and most of us have been together for a while, working together. Mm-hmm. And it's kind of, people know us around in Puerto Rico. We have some internet sketches and things like that that people know us for. And so we started out with a college audience, and now that college audience has grown with us and matured with us as well, and kind of followed us, and it's grown as well. So we already had a show scheduled in Chicago for October, which was after Maria, but the show was scheduled before we even knew about Maria happening, before the hurricane. So after the hurricane, we sort of after we were able to connect with each other again after a week or so or two, and sort of figure out what it is that we were going to do, if that show was going to happen or not. We didn't even know, because the airport wasn't even open yet.
Couldn't even get to Chicago.
Yeah, we didn't even know if we were going to be able to get on a plane at all. So we kind of let you know, nearing the date, whatever is going to happen. We really didn't even know what was going to happen. But we talked about, so if that show happens, what is it that we're going to do? And then we said, okay, so the show is going to happen.
You have to address
the
hurricane. I mean,
that's what we decided.
No
it was like, so we're going to write a sketch about the hurricane. Some of us weren't even in that sketch because we weren't going to be able to get to the theater and rehearse. Some of us were out, with family, away from the metro area, out of the reach. There was no internet service. There was no communication possible. So it was very difficult for us to communicate with each other. So whoever was near was going to be in the sketch. And the rest of us were going to bring other things that we already had set up before. So, so that's what we talked about, and then we left, and then we kind of regrouped about a few days before. Some of us didn't see each other until we got to Chicago. So that was, I met up with everybody else in Chicago because I was going to be with family.
Well, and you all decided you're not only doing something about the hurricane, but making jokes. What was that dynamic? First in Chicago.
Yes.
And then we'll talk about what was like when you came home.
For us, I remember I saw the show after we already got to Chicago, and we were rehearsing in the space in Chicago, and I got to see what the new sketch was about. And I went, oh my God, this is amazing. And I was like looking at the show going, oh yeah. And I thought, I wonder how people in Chicago are going to react to this. And most of them were kind of like, oh, it's like we're sort of pity. It's like a pity laugh, kind of like, oh.
Is it okay to laugh?
Is it, should we laugh about? Oh. But here, when we came back, and we were able to do that show here in Puerto Rico for a Puerto Rican audience that went through the hurricane in November. Like, we did the show in November when we came back. It was crazy.
So tell me some of the, parts of the sketch that just really hit home with the, home audience.
Yeah. So the sketch is about this couple, and the sketch is a day before the hurricane, during the hurricane, and a week after. So one of the jokes at the beginning of the sketch, like the day before the hurricane, is like, oh, they're saying we should stock up on gas, and he's like, you crazy? Who are we, like Cuba, Venezuela? And everybody in the audience is like laughing right away. And this is a joke that would not be funny in any other circumstance, even here in Puerto Rico. But
so why did it resonate here, though? I mean, we were talking a little bit before about it's kind of part of the identity, right? That like we are always going through hurricanes.
Yeah.
We've been through this.
Yeah.
This is another one.
Yeah. So it would make sense for this guy that doesn't know what's coming to laugh about stocking up on gas, because we Puerto Ricans, we know what hurricanes are about. Like, We know how to prepare. We've been through this.
Went out and got the beer and the sausages.
And he of course stocked up on beer.
Right.
But he figures we're gonna be fine. It's not like the supermarket and the gas stations are gonna be out of stock.
And then fast forward to
fast
how many months later.
And then the sketch after is kind of like him burned, sunburned with 2 empty, gas tanks in his hand, and her asking, "Did you get the gas?" He's like, "No."
Well, what I love about this is that my journalism deals with really dark stuff, and so you come out of that with a pretty dark sense of humor.
Yes.
And
this is
the
dark
only way
comedy.
Yeah, but I mean, how else do you process this? And I mean, I wonder if you could talk a little bit about that. Of like, what do you personally, or even you as a group, think about the role of humor and even that dark humor in rebuilding?
Yes, well, I think it is your way to survive. It is the way to survive. Helen Sue says, like, the only way to come out of terror is with a huge laugh.
Right.
Like, you can't really survive that kind of horror, that kind of devastation, if you don't laugh, because it's just too depressing.
Right.
It's just too sad. You can't survive it if you don't laugh about it, because it's just too sad.
Well, I mean,
and it was sad. I mean, it's not like comedy erases the sadness.
Right.
It helps you get through the sadness. I mean,
and it's also that you're not acknowledging the pain, and when you're talking about going out with power all this time and how it's affecting your life, it's like it's almost acknowledging it even more or in a deeper way.
Yes.
Because there's grief.
Yes, definitely. I think a lot of and one of the things I think the audience appreciated from that show was that I remember the audience thanking us a lot. Like, thank you so much. We really needed that. Like, thank you, because it's hard to find what it is that you can laugh at.
Right.
And the time in which you are able to do that. So when is it that you're able to laugh at that?
So it's kind of, I mean, the audience is seeing themselves on stage.
Yes,
also,
yes,
in a way, right?
yes.
Or themselves as a culture or as a community.
And we didn't think the audience was gonna. We really didn't know. Like, when you're a comedian and you're doing a show, you really don't know when it is.
Is it gonna land with a thud? Is it gonna be a hit?
It's like, so we don't know. We're just doing this. I think people are gonna like it. How are they gonna appreciate this? It was amazing.
Where are you at right now? I mean, are you? Time's going by, in the aftermath of this. Are you still able to laugh about this?
Yes. I think we don't even want to talk about it a lot anymore.
Okay.
Because we're kind of like, okay, we need to talk about other things,
Right.
because we need to be somewhere else. Of course, there's people outside of San Juan that are still living through this. Mm-hmm. Family members of colleagues are still living through it. Like, there's still areas without power, which for us is kind of like, this is
I can't even wrap my
crazy.
head. Right.
We can't wrap our heads, but there's people living right now, still getting gas and ice every day.
Well, and so the whole spirit of what we're trying to do with this project is share those voices back and what's not getting into the media coverage, or if there is media coverage. I mean, so on that kind of final note, what do you want people in the States or in other countries or just the general public to hear about what's happening here? I mean, if there's a message to share with people who haven't lived through this and don't get it.
I don't know. I think more about people here getting some sort of message than people somewhere else, because I think that especially now, there's so much of everything around the world that sometimes I'm kind of like, really, there's other more important things than us right now. There's more important things than us happening right now.
As you're living here, right?
Yeah,
right.
And then, because we also hear about other spaces and other places, which is one of the things that helps you get through it as well. A lot of times when we were going through this whole thing, we heard from other people seeing us and what we were going through, and they were going, oh, and we were going, Oh, maybe. Yeah. Wow, people are seeing us. Oh my God, we're a third world country. Like, we kind of went like, oh wow. Oh, we're those people now. We're
Talk
those
about
people in the
turning
media.
point.
Yeah, we're those people in the news right now. And we were in Chicago. And when we would say, where are you from? Oh, from Puerto Rico. Oh. And we went, oh, we're those people. Like we're those people
Complete shift.
from the country that's going through something horrific. Like we're refugees right now. Like,
Right.
oh wow. Like we never thought of ourselves that way, ever, until that moment. And we were realizing it as we were living it as well. Because
Right.
we were going that whole, what? This is going to happen to us? I'm like, what? This is happening?
Right.
Oh, right. Oh, this is happening. Like, as we were living it, we weren't believing what was happening.
Well, now it's just, it is.
Yep.
It's,
And it's kind of, for us, it was more eye-opening than for anyone else outside of this island, I think.
Thank you so much for taking the time to talk to us. I mean, it's really inspiring to hear about, finding ways of addressing this in a positive way and, building community as
Thank
well.
you.
So thanks for taking the time.
Thank you.